All right, let's talk Giants. We're going to review the Monday night game against the Steelers, and then we're going to preview this upcoming game against the Bears in week 2. I said last episode that the Giants were going to steal one from the Steelers. I really thought that we had a chance to prove the haters wrong. There were a lot of question marks coming into this game about our defense, our offensive line. 27 of the 53 guys on this roster are new, weren't here last year. How are they going to mesh and gel before week 1 without any kind of preseason, just a training camp and these half-ass scrimmages? You got a new young head coach, new coaches across the board. How new offensive line for the most part, a lot of new faces. So how's that going to play out? A lot of people no one had them winning. They were 5.5 point underdogs heading into this. I bet them. I did not win that bet. You look at the final score. You didn't watch the game Monday night. You wake up on Tuesday, you see 26-16. You think, this is a blowout. This wasn't close. Oh, and the Giants scored late, so there was even more of a bigger disparity between the Steelers and Giants. No. And you could tell, like Herb Street and Fowler, the broadcasting duo on ESPN, they made note of it. This doesn't feel like the same old Giants. Now, a loss is a loss is a loss. It's the same result as we had under Shermer and under McAdoo. But it feels like these errors, mistakes, missed opportunities were the culmination of all those new faces, no preseason, new coaching staff, new faces, new players, all that. And I think those are correctable. Those are something that, as everyone said, from Joe Judge on the way down, Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley, every single player, Blake Martinez, we're going to watch the tape. We're going to watch the film and we're going to get better. So I feel like these are mistakes and errors that they're going to fix, and they're going to come out a better team throughout the season, as opposed to just constantly throughout the season making those same mistakes and errors and not capitalizing. I feel better about this loss than I have about previous losses. This wasn't an opening day loss where like it was in 2014 against the Lions, where you say to yourself, we are fucked. We don't look like we're ready to play. We don't look like we're going to compete. You don't see that with this opening day loss. So it's a loss. We didn't cover the spread like I'd hoped, but things go our way. 3 or 4 things go our way. We are in the thick of it. We are competing. We have a chance to win the ball game. Let's start with the muffed punt. And this is where I think this team under Joe Judge is different from the teams under Shermer and McAdoo and even Coughlin. Judge has a special teams background, and you can see the difference in what the special teams is doing. And if you have time on your hands, go watch the Joe Judge report where he breaks down one offensive play. I think it was the touchdown from Jones to Slayton. He breaks down a defensive play, big 3rd down stop, and he breaks down a special teams play. And I've never seen anyone break down a special teams play like that before. It was interesting to hear him talk about it. You can tell that he just knows his shit, and that he's instilled a tremendous amount of knowledge into his players, and they've responded. We were concerned after Cody Core went down, our top gunner, and that didn't seem to be an issue. It seems like we signed Brandon Williams and he stepped up, and Riley Dixon's Riley Dixon. He's killing it, crushing it. Nate Ebner is doing phenomenally. But the muff punt is just one of the examples of how our special teams has improved. Jabril Peppers returning punts. He almost broke one. If he does break one, he had 2 people to beat. He had one dude and then the punter, and he could not get past that. I think it was a long snapper, and I'm sure he's going to catch shit for that. And once they did the film review, but say Peppers breaks that. I mean, he had a bunch of good returns. If he breaks that changes the game. The muff punt, getting the ball on the fucking 3-yard line and not scoring a touchdown. That's where it's just inexcusable in my mind. Good teams take advantage of that and they put 6 on the board. You can't come away from that with a field goal. And I wasn't crazy about the play calling from Jason Garrett, especially in that goal line situation. The question was asked about Evan Engram, like was it miscommunication? Whose fault was it? Like, it was a bad throw by Jones. Did Evan Engram not get off his block? Evan Engram had an atrocious game, just all around bad game. You looking at him and he just didn't seem like he was in it mentally. He just didn't seem like he was all there. He had a big drop on the first series that caused the punt. And then there's that missed opportunity where that could have been 6 if he just able to get the separation, get off, the defensive end earlier so Jones can hit him. So, I mean, that's one of my top pet peeves is when you get a turnover in enemy territory, go for the fucking jugular, go for the touchdown right away. No messing around. And it pains me. And I know they want to emphasize the ground game. I know that's a major top priority for them is that we're going to ground and pound. We're going to get back to running the football, smashing them with football. And they gave Saquon a bunch of opportunities, 15 carries. So they didn't abandon the run that soon. I thought, they probably should have abandoned the run a little bit earlier, or at least passed more to set up the run, which ended up working in the second half. You saw it on that fucking long ass drive. Saquon had a lot of, I think, 5 consecutive positive yard runs for good gains, but that was set up by the passing game and being able to wear down the defense through the pass. And then that weakens them on the front. And then you can push the ball forward on the ground. But muff punt, huge momentum shift, big time chance to go up by 6 or 7 and put the big, the favorites on the ropes, and you run the ball up the gut. It's just like, man, Jason, that's what you had up your sleeve. I would have play action and go for the jugular, go for the kill right away, first down. Don't even mess around. And I know Judge said in the post-game press conference, or one of the post-game pressers, after he had time to review the film, that he was asked, like, did you ever think about going for it down there, 4th and goal on the 3? And he said, I just needed points on the board. I couldn't come away with that, giving the other team, giving them the opportunity to, go ahead and not get points. And I'm thinking to myself, I get it. I understand the philosophy, but man, week 1, it's like basically the first series. The other team, Big Ben, hasn't gotten the ball yet. Would be a huge boost, confidence boost for the team, momentum wise, everything. The juju, the mojo, if you can put the ball in the end zone. And even if you don't get it, they start their first opening series of the fucking season on their 3. And seeing how the defense came out on the actual first series, 3 and out. If they get a 3 and out from the 3, or even from the 10, and Pittsburgh's 3 or the 10, a 3 and out, and you get Peppers, who turned out to be like, a godsend when it comes to the punt return game, you're right back in Steelers territory, and you could probably end up with a 3 anyway. So I disagreed with the call. I would have gone for it, but who am I? So the muff punt, that's 6. So that's a 3 to 4 points. That could have been a 3 to 4 point swing. I thought, Daniel Jones had 2 to 3 big mistakes that really cost us. And I don't know that you really can blame him for the first interception, when TJ Watt just like comes out of nowhere and just a great play by a great player, and reads Daniel Jones and is able to come off his block, stop the rush, and just jump and pick a ball up. I mean, not a lot of defensive linemen or linebackers can do that. I don't put that on Daniel. The other interception was just a backbreaker. And that would, in my mind, that was what essentially ended the game for us. If I'm being honest. The interception to TJ Watt really sucked, because that was on our side of the 50. It was at the 35, so already they're in field goal position, and I don't think our defense responded well to that, being put on the spot and having to come up big. I think that was the drive where Logan Ryan just decided to abandon his post at the safety position and come up on a running back that already had a linebacker on him. And we got burned by, I think it was Eric Ebron on that deep crosser, with Peppers trying to cover him one-on-one. Would have been nice to have Logan Ryan over the top or on the other side, and I think that was a major emphasis for when Judge broke down that third down play where we get out and we get off the field. You have a guy on one hip, and then you have another guy on the other hip to take that away. And that's what should have happened on that big completion to Ebron, which eventually led to a touchdown. The other interception, I don't think I've ever been more deflated or demoralized. It's tough to think of such a positive drive that ends so horribly in such tragic fashion. I must have blacked out, because I was like, I wasn't even considering that this was the 19th play of the drive. I just wasn't. I was just like this. I just thought, this is an incredible drive. This is a drive for the history books. I wasn't even counting the plays. I didn't even realize it was the 19th play. All I know is that, and I tweeted it out, I was very exhilarated by Daniel Jones on this drive. This was like a coming of age. Daniel Jones is taking a step to the next level type of drive. Daniel Jones, offensive MVP, player of the year, MVP, like all those things are running through my head, because this Pittsburgh Steelers defense is fucking tough.